Okay, I want to keep this video very short and substantive. I have not watched any other opinion pieces on Shane Dawson's video or Jaclyn's video, except Philip DeFranco's video, but he didn't even give his own opinion, so I don't count that. And I have some strong opinions regarding this, and here's what I think. I am very much glad that Eugenia Cooney is finally recovering from her eating disorder. Like many people, I have followed Eugenia Cooney's YouTube journey for years now. I have been at a place where I remember thinking that I can't watch her anymore. I can't. I even remember thinking that, it would be better. I remember thinking it would be better off if she died because of the negative influence that she has on young girls. And coming from that place and seeing Eugenia Cooney finally recovering, I cannot describe how I feel. I can't do that. However, as much as I love the fact that she is recovering, I cannot overlook the fact that she is back in the same situation that enabled her eating disorder with the same people, her mother, who not only did not help her but actively stopped her from getting help, the root cause of her eating disorder. I cannot overlook that. I can't. I just can't do that. And that is the most difficult part. It is difficult to watch. I would even argue that it's more difficult to watch than if she would have just gotten worse. Because now we see that yes, she is recovering. We see that glimmer of hope. But we also see that she is back in the same place which enabled her eating disorder in the first place. And there's nothing we could do about that. We see that she's back in the same controlling environment and there's nothing we could do. And we see that glimmer of hope and it's difficult to watch. And there's nothing we could do about it. Absolutely nothing. And it is tied into the way that she got help. She got help involuntarily. It's not that she first realized the toxicity of the situation that she's in and then chose voluntarily to take distance, emotional and or physical distance from her mother. That's not how it happened. It was involuntarily done. And for good reason, because she was on the verge of death. Jaclyn, she did the right thing. Yes, in a way, it was a betrayal of friendship, but it was to get her help. And it is absolutely disheartening to see so many people in the comments say that the actions that she took, trying to call the police, trying to call the mental health professionals, was bad. No, it was the right decision. But after this point, there's nothing we could do. There's nothing we could do. She is back in the same situation, and we cannot do anything. I hope that the situation does get better for Eugenia and she gets out of the toxicity. I hope, I wish her the best. Now I want to get a little bit more specific. I want to talk about Shane Dawson's video a little bit. And it is something that I've thought about for a while now, and I have some strong opinions that I have reached because of my own experiences and my reasoning. If somebody disagrees, I am willing to have my mind changed with a good argument. Maybe it's just that I'm not thinking about the most obvious thing in the world. It's possible. So here it is. Okay, I'm gonna start by saying, Shane putting out a video. It's not necessarily a neutral act. If Shane was just talking to Eugenia personally, that's a neutral act. But him putting out a video which is guaranteed to be viewed by millions is not a neutral act. It is setting a narrative. It is telling a story, a recovery story that we all wanted. And if it's a story that Eugenia herself wanted to say, if it is a narrative which is 100% controlled by her and her alone, and not by her mother, which, mind you, actively tried to stop her daughter from getting help that she deserves, or her mother's lawyer, then it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly good. I don't know if I should give a little background or not. It is not my first time talking about narrative when it comes to such delicate subjects. I have talked about this before on my video about the person that shall not be named. When it comes to me, and yes, the reasoning is based on my personal experiences. When it comes to me and my mental health and with my experiences, one of the things that I really value, one of the things that I really cherish is the fact that, if I even go ahead and talk about my mental health here, I can set my own narrative. I can tell my own story, and nobody else can interfere in between. That is that is one of the things that I love. But if someone made a video on my experiences, which is guaranteed to be viewed by millions of people, it now has over 20 million views right now. But it had to be in a way that my mom's lawyer approved of it. It would have been the biggest insult to me. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, yet alone someone as sweet and kind as Eugenia. Why exactly? Because then it's not my story anymore. It's not my narrative anymore. It would be a twisted and manipulated narrative. And if the lawyers are involved, and yes, they were, we saw them, that is exactly what's going on in the Shane Dawson video. And that is an insult, in my opinion. And this video that we're talking about could be used to cover up the tracks of people who not only failed to help her, but actively tried to stop someone from getting help that they deserve and manipulate the public opinion. And let's be real right now, Shane has a very strong record of making anything positive. Shane would be the best, perfect candidate for something like this. And we see that that video is trying to be a Shane Dawson video, but with no substance. The video starts at Shane's place like it always does, and then they go into an Uber, and then they tour Eugenia's house, and when it comes to the substance, the big chat that they have, it's all love. The video that Jaclyn made showed that the narrative is being manipulated. And that's why I think releasing those videos by Jaclyn was the right thing to do. However, I do see a good critique of that video, and that's, well, isn't it too personal? I mean, I just talked about narrative, right? It should be Eugenia's narrative, not Jaclyn's. She shouldn't have came out and said that. And yes, I agree that that video is personal, and it gives out information that should be, ideally, in an ideal world, should be only released by Eugenia herself. But I also think that it's a sort of gray area, and please follow me here. Jaclyn was directly involved in this, and she saw that the narrative was being manipulated, and she cannot just allow the manipulated narrative to just go along, right? Especially considering the fact that it came from Shane Dawson's channel, the biggest influencer on the planet. But in order for her to do that, she would need reason, and that comes from her releasing the information that she knows. I wish that they waited a little bit longer just to contain themselves and to make a good video rather than the emotional rollercoaster that they made. That itself hindered her ability to say what she actually means. Also, I just want to talk about these two comments that I see and some version of these comments that I'm seeing floating around. What these comments are trying to say is that, well, Shane tried his best to show what he can because the lawyers were involved. He could only show us snippets, like that locked door scene. He couldn't show us what he wanted, so he only showed us the snippets. I hope that I'm not mischaracterizing the argument. And well, here's what I think. I do not think that thinking like a conspiracy theorist is a good idea in this case. When talking about a narrative, you have to look at the overarching themes. You have to look at the whole video in the context rather than just the snippets. And if Shane knew that what he could show is going to be severely restrictive, then I don't think he should have made the video, because then it's a manipulated narrative. throughout the whole video, I tried to stay away from what I think Shane knows or what he was thinking because, well, I don't know what he was thinking or what he knows. And how can I comment on something that, well, I don't know about? Well, the video was long, but I hope that it was substantive. Again, what I have said here came from my experiences and my reasoning. If I missed something that's blatantly obvious, please comment in the description. Please comment in the comment section. I would appreciate it if you'd subscribe and yeah, goodbye.